Hello, hello. Merhaba, Timur.
Merhaba, merhaba Olimp, my good
Hello.
friend.
Hoş geldin. How are you?
Hoş bulduk. Mulțumesc. Mulțumesc mult.
It's a great pleasure to see you again and welcome to Travel Chat by OLiTravel, third edition. Please, for the beginning, introduce yourself and tell us from where you are joining us right now.
Uh, Hello everyone. My name is Timur Engürlü, which is a Turkish name and surname. And I'm Turkish citizen. Istanbul is the biggest city, but I'm not in Istanbul. I am in Antalya. Antalya is south of Turkey, Mediterranean coast, beautiful place. And that's where I live. But as a tour guide, I have to work a lot from Istanbul. So I live between Istanbul and Antalya. Of course, when I work, and now I don't work, I'm at home in Antalya. And I think I'm among the lucky ones because in pandemic days, people in crowded cities are very limited. But not in Antalya. Antalya is a big city, 2 million people, but there are parks, there is green areas, there is the sea, the beautiful sea. Right now, they don't let us go to the sea, but I'm a swimmer. In summer, I swim every day, every morning, 1 hour, and in winter also, 30 minutes.
Perfect.
Even in the first weeks of the corona, I went to swim, and one day police came and said, out, no more.
Really?
So I live in Antalya. I'm a tour guide since 1984.
I want to ask you more details about this. First of all, which is your birthplace? So your home city, it's Antalya, and where
no,
you've been
no,
born?
no. Antalya is this place where I chose to live, but I was born in Antakya,
Antakya.
which is a historical and biblical place. It is the city which is next to Syria on the Mediterranean, eastern Mediterranean coast. It was the ancient Antioch, founded by the commander Antioch of Alexander the Great. And it is where St. Peter came and founded a church, not the first church, they still say so, but it is where they said for the first time Christian, and where Paul and Peter met for the first time. And I'm not from Antakya, neither. I'm son of a family that worked for the state, so they were this time sent there. But I still spent my childhood in Antakya, which is a beautiful place, very rich in culture and environment, and very good food. And there is tourism in Antakya, but a different sort of tourism. There is those followers of the good taste, and also the followers of the religious paths. Antakya is a visited place by the pilgrims, Christian pilgrims, especially in the summer.
My next question, sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
Who gave you the idea? It will be a double question, yeah? Points 2
Yes.
and 3. Who gave you the idea to become a tour guide? And since when do you have your license as
I have
Kokat, as an official tour guide in Turkey?
Okay, I have a beautiful answer for that. You know, I was living in Antakya. I was a high school student. We are talking about 1979, maybe 1980, my high school years, not the end, probably the first or second year. Then Turkey was a different country. We had different sort of safety problems, political struggles. It was dangerous to do so many things. As a teenager, I had to suffer that violent time. And the TV was in black and white. There was only one state channel, which emitted a few hours on the evening. And
Like in
I love to read.
times in
I love to read.
Romania, yeah.
I was trying to discover the world through the books. So one day I put on the TV, the black and white TV, in a Sunday afternoon. Sunday had a larger edition in black and white. And I see a group of, I can say, young people wandering around, visiting beautiful places of Turkey. And I just stuck there. I said, who are they? What they do? Where they go? So they were the
what they are
candidates.
doing.
They were the candidates to be a guide,
Wow.
organized by the state. And I said, oh, that must be a beautiful job.
That gave you
And
the idea, yeah?
yes,
Nobody pushed you or influenced you into this job.
No. You see, Olimp, in my family, everybody worked for the state in different levels, high or middle levels, teachers, army people, high-rank officers, high-rank state workers, also the middle ones.
Yeah.
My dad was was the director of a regional agricultural company, which is a state work.
Yeah.
And my mom was teacher, then she did not work. But you know, outside there was a big stress and violence. Only those years, people killed each other because they were left or right in Turkey. And this guide business, going to the archaeological sites, beautiful places, being in touch with people from other countries was like an escape.
Yeah.
It was like a breath to take. And you didn't need to go away from your country, in your own country.
Exactly.
You could create that environment. So I liked it. And I started to dig a little bit, but there was no internet, no books about it. And I went to the city tourism office. You know, there's the tourism office.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked them how to be a guide. And they told me you should finish your high school. Then there's a state organized exam. Then there's a course. And of course, you should speak a language. And I had a broken English then from the school.
That was your first foreign language, English, which you started with.
English, and I wasn't very bad because you said I lived in Antalya. Antalya is neighbor to Adana. In Adana, there's a big military base.
Okay.
Then it was an American base, and my uncle worked there. So quite often, his American friends, army people, I could be in touch with them, either in my grandma's house with my uncle, or they visited us, spent some New Year, some visit. So I met Americans, and I heard them speak English with me and pushing me to speak better. And my father also, he spoke French and Arabic fluently. The last year of the high school, I went to United States. I was an AFS, American Field Service, exchange student. My family sent me there. So when I came back, I had already good English.
Oh, great. How long you stayed in the USA?
1 year. 1 year. I stayed in Devonport, Iowa. So when I came back, I started my university in Ankara. And I immediately had a check on my friends. So I categorized them. And I said, this one, yes, this one, no, this one, yes. And I told them that there is such opportunity. And all those friends that I told them, they came with me, take the exam, and they all became guides.
Great.
And so very good guides. They are still are.
You've been before many others, because now, these times, you know, especially in the internet era, there are many influencers. You became an influencer without knowing that, in that time.
Yes. And I know just now that you are telling that.
Yeah, you've been an influencer. Really great. Congratulations. How many friends did you manage to invite into this beautiful job? How many
Uh,
they became with you,
Can,
tour guides?
Oğuz, Ertan, Ceren. Four.
Four of them.
Four. With me, five.
Great.
And in 1984, I succeeded. My friends, they became guide.
Which was
1985. And in 1984, autumn, I was a licensed national guide already, ready to work.
great.
Fresh from oven.
Okay. Since then, you've been guiding in a lot of places all over Turkey, and
Yes,
of course, I know that you've been guiding abroad as well. Tell us, please,
yes.
now, because I know that you are very good into foreign languages. How many languages do you speak, and where have you been guiding? Most probably Turkish tourist groups. On which continents? A few of your destinations before we
Uh,
get into the COVID-19 theme, because that's gonna be my
yes,
next questions. Yeah, thank you.
right. Olimp, I consider myself as a local guide, actually. To call me a guide, I must be working in Turkey. That's what I'm licensed for. Taking the Turkish groups outside was not my main concern. I never looked for it. However, in years, there were opportunities, cases in which travel agencies called me and they asked for my languages and my information about the place was not the most important. The language was the first concern for them.
Of course.
So uh, they said, "We have a group for Mexico. Do you speak Spanish?" So they didn't say, "Do you know Mexico?"
Yeah, the language
Um,
was important
yeah,
because of the local guide. I think to can communicate better with him. They
yes,
don't speak
yes.
good English. I
However,
suppose.
my first foreign tour was to Mexico. Nothing else, nothing less than that.
Wow,
But I answered them that I knew Mexico because I went to Mexico before
really?
in yes, in
From
cases
USA?
from the USA in my high
But
school
yeah,
year.
it was close.
So I had a very weak idea about what Mexico is going to be like. And at that time, there was no internet, and going to a tour meant reading books, having charts, maps, plans, and studying them, and on map to try to understand which street to take, which corner to left or right. And I did that.
No GPS, no internet,
No
no
GPS, it
nothing.
should be here.
Yeah, it was in your mind and on your map,
Yes, yes.
in
But
your hand.
before that, I started to work in Turkey,
Hmm.
countrywide. In tours, there was a big choice at that time in 1980s. Maybe the number of visitors was limited, but the cultural level was extremely high. And I think the tours were not cheap then, they were expensive. So the person who wanted to invest in such tours, they really wanted in exchange to see the difference and get uh, high quality first-hand knowledge, information from
Information
a
and services.
licensed and good guide. I was very young, but I like challenge. I like challenge. I was 18, 19, maybe 20. They gave me big American groups, and I took them to Eastern Anatolia, and I had no problem.
Great.
And I went to Cappadocia. I toured in Istanbul. I made classical tours in Aegean and Mediterranean coast. And so I prospered as an English speaking guide. And meanwhile, I started to work slowly also in Spanish.
Yeah, sorry. Just my question. How was your communication with the local guide in Mexico? It was in English or in Spanish? How it was easier?
It was in Spanish.
It was Spanish.
already.
They were
It
not.
was
They
in
were not speaking good English, or why?
No,
The
they
local
spoke
guys.
very good English. They spoke very good English, but I was lucky to speak them in their own language, in Spanish. In Spanish, I mean. I did some tours, maybe 7 times to Cuba in following years, and to Spain several times. I cannot count, and also the Benelux countries, Belgium, Holland, and Paris. That was a classical, very popular route for Turkish people.
Now we can make a total of your languages that you speak. How many languages do you speak fluently?
Fluently, I speak English, Spanish, and Portuguese. I am licensed in these 3 languages. However, Olimp, I am also
So
licensed.
4 languages with your native mother language, with the Turkish. You speak
Yes,
4 fluent languages. Great.
Olimp, I am also licensed in Romanian. I have the license, but my Romanian is broken. That's why I still have plans to do some language course in Bucharest, maybe in Brașov. There are language schools that I am in touch.
Really?
Yes.
Great.
And I would like to put my Romanian to the level where I have my other languages.
Great. So it will be your 5th fluently spoken
Yes,
language. Okay.
hopefully.
So let's get into the second part of our interview here in Travel Chat by OLiTravel. How and when did you got the news? Did you receive the news about COVID-19? And what's your personal opinion about the origins of this virus?
I tell you what, quite early, because I have guide friends that they speak Chinese. They are in touch with China. Even we had some friends in Wuhan, where it started. So first-hand information reached me quite early. So I think, I don't know when it started, but in January, some Chinese speaking guide friend told me about that there is something in China. I turned on the TV. Yes, there are some virus cases, and I was aware that something was going on. Then I realized that it was not in January, it was in December. Sometimes in January is when I was concerned about that for the first time. My first reaction was like SARS, MERS, swine flu, and I said myself, you see, now they are coming up with a new virus story, and now they will say this country is good, this country is bad, go there, don't go there, and they will manipulate it to bring up someone and push down another one. That was my feeling. Maybe some Middle Eastern countries, African countries were going to suffer.
From where it's originated, what do you think? From where it has the origins?
When it came from Wuhan, we read and hear the stories about the market.
Yeah,
in
the
Wuhan,
animal market.
and they were eating bats, they say. But the ambassador, Chinese ambassador of Turkey, he came on TV and said, no, we don't eat bats. This is not there. You are confusing with another geography. I don't have answer, Olimp. I read so many conspiracy stories, and finally I closed the book because I said, enough, all of you. But on the other side, Olimp, Turkey is a politically very active country.
Yeah.
And in Middle East, Turkey had problems, but now he has a hand in Syria, another hand in Iraq, now in Libya. And there are so many stories going on. So in Turkish TV, it's quite common that they make programs about international politics and geopolitics. And some guys, strategic expert,
yeah,
or academic or whatever, international politics and relations. There are a few men, quite questionable, quite populist, but already for 3-4 years, they were telling that they are going to come up with a pandemic. There will be a virus. They want to bring down the world population. So when they started to talk about after the virus, it confused me. I don't know if it really is man-made or it came from the animal. They say that definitely it is natural because of the structure, because of how it came. It's a scientific field that we cannot dominate.
Of course.
So they denied it. But I think it still can be manipulated, man-made or natural. Someone is going to use it in certain way,
Exactly.
or certain policy.
Because I know that you were preparing for this interview, not only just like on a WhatsApp
Yes.
Video chat or something, entering. You
Yes.
prepared like a real tourist guide, yeah?
Thank you. In short time.
Yeah.
So Olimp and dear friends, in Turkey has such practice. There's a Minister of Health and gives his message. Final message has not changed. Stay at home, use your mask, and be safe, be patient. We are good. We will defeat. Finally.
Yeah.
We are going very well. Here there's the union or chamber of scientists created immediately when in Turkey first cases started to show up. The first case came from Italy.
Like in Romania as well, came from Italy, the first patient.
Yes, that's what they said. So then it was spread around. Recently, my girlfriend, she spoke to Mihaila, the guide, Romanian guide, living in Antalya, our friend and neighbor. So they have a conversation. Then they realized that in January, Mihaila had a group in Antalya, like the one you had been, similar. So from this plane, 60 cases returned to Romania. No, they are not saying that they took it from Turkey, but just before Turkey, same people went to Italy. So they went to Italy, went back home Romania, and another flight to Antalya. These offers are taken advantage of by the tourists.
Yeah.
So
it's spreading so fast like this. It's spreading so
Mihaila
fast.
got the virus. Mihaila was infected. She had COVID-19 positive. Also tell Timur that definitely I gave him the virus because we sat together, we had tea, we had a long conversation in Cappadocia. So I don't know if it came this way or that way. And many people, among them myself too, I got flu several times in January. One time more or less when I met Mihaila and her tourists in the same places. And the other time I took 2 tours, 2 in a row, to Spain. And in Spain I got really sick during the tour.
January, February, when it was this?
Well, that was February. That was end of February.
Okay.
15 February to end of February, I was in Spain.
Okay.
And maybe 22, 23rd, I got really, really sick during the tour. One night, I spoke with friends. I called again those Chinese-speaking guide friends because they know about China. So I asked them, what do Chinese do when they get sick? And one friend, she says to me, drink a lot of hot water. So one night, there's a heater in the hotel room. I heated water. I put in some lemon, some salt, whatever I found it.
Yeah.
And I've been drinking liters of hot water whole
Really?
night. Yes, and that really helped me a little bit. But I had pains, my throat, my legs. So I was quite bad. So many people had such experiences,
So have you
and
been tested? You
no,
went
no,
for
I
testing?
got well. I got well myself.
Okay.
uh, uh,
But
because because when I came back, there was still no such precaution.
mhm.
It all started in March. Uh, on March, it got really serious.
And
So
you didn't thought to go to get tested after you came back to be sure to be
no,
found that it passed, that you are
no, no, no, no, no, no. In
fully
Turkey,
recovered.
uh, no, I did not. Boros, my case is not the only one. Now the state says, if you had something and now you are good, you are good. Just don't bother. Keep yourself safe. Be healthy. And if you have symptoms or whatever, then you go. But as long as you are good, even if you had it before, you're not a threat.
Yeah, but
As long as
you know
you
about you can be asymptomatic, so you can
uh,
still carry it with you, and you can pass it to others who are maybe more fragile or
that's why the
elder
mask.
people. Yeah, I
That's why
know.
the
That's
mask.
why it's important to wear the mask. It's very important.
Yes, yes. Uh, I think it all goes with the possibilities, what they have in hand, and but they have a plan already. They
Yeah.
are keeping the plan. So to test me now, it is out of the program
Hmm.
because, like me, there will be hundreds or thousands or millions of people,
Yeah.
uh, uh, and they made 1,474 and 3 tests so far in Turkey. In Turkey, they are not doing random testing. They have a plan.
Hmm.
They came up with a uh, practice that they call filiation. So when they detect the case, first is detecting the case. When they detect the case, immediately they have groups, professionals, health groups. So they make a search and they try to detect the possible cases of this person. So these people are tested before others. And I think it worked. I think it worked in Turkey finally. Numbers are not the worst.
Sorry to interrupt you. From for the beginning, let's tell the official, actual population number of Turkey, the whole population.
80, 82 million
80,
approximately.
82 living
Yes,
in Turkey,
in Turkey, yes.
except the 4 or 5 millions from abroad, Germany and
Yes, yes.
so.
No, no, no, but we also have immigrants. We have Syrians, Iranian people.
Yeah, yeah,
So Turkey should be 85 with
yeah. I
them.
see. Timur, before the last question, which gonna be about your top three favorite cities in the world, I'd like to ask you what's your personal opinion about how things will go. What do you think when because you have already official informations about this as well from your
I
past
have, I will
tourism.
tell you. I have
When,
professional information.
yeah, when tourism will start, especially in Turkey, because now we talk with a Turkish tourist guide, official tourist guide. What do you think when you will open Turkey again for tourism, for international mass tourism, and which gonna be the changes that you think will be very important to keep tourism safe, to keep mass tourism safe, and to keep uh, ourselves in safety.
I give you one first-hand information.
Yeah.
Last week there was a meeting in Antalya between some entities of tourism and the Minister of Tourism. Minister of Tourism has a travel agency, a big one. And Minister of Tourism was made Minister of Tourism because he was an active tourism person. And he has hotels in Antalya.
Yeah.
So, and he has airplanes.
Okay.
So, this is not a news on the paper, but the person who was also in the meeting told me afterwards that there was also the Minister of Foreign Affairs with them. So they are writing letters and handing to the ambassadors of all the countries that we receive tourism normally. And the feeling that I have, Olimp, I'm talking between friends,
Of course.
Yes, freely. It is like what I understand. I didn't see the letter, but what I heard with the words of that person is like they are like begging, they are like insisting them to send tourists to us, telling them that, oh, we are good, we are the safe place, and we will give you a safe and clean vacation, no COVID-19, come to Turkey. So they are insisting on that. So it doesn't look like Turkey is saying, hold on, let's see where it goes. Well, this is the tourism people and the economy people, let's say.
Of
They
course,
want it to open.
they live from this, and they lose
Yes,
billions of
So,
dollars or
so
euros.
whatever happens in the country or in the world, they will push for it. They want to open as soon as possible and the way they can. No doubt about that. Here they are. But people will take flights to come. So about the flights, the reference is the Turkish Airlines. So all the companies are looking what Turkish Airlines does, so we will follow it. So according to that, in June, international flights with certain destinations will start, which are destinations like some Scandinavian countries and some Asian, like Russia and Kazakhstan, such places, not all together. But I see that they have an intention to recover in flight business in number of routes through the summer until September. And then I had a meeting with the company, very big company that I work for in Spanish and Portuguese languages. So our boss is also quite in touch with the state. So he says that we depend on flights from Latin America, but unfortunately, the virus started in China, then went to Europe, came here, then went to America and Latin America.
Exactly.
So they are the last in the row. So Turkish Airlines says that 1st of September, he will put flights to Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Mexico. Not before. Not
Really?
before. So the person is also telling that in our company, China, since it was the first in starting, China and Asian countries, they are the first to be healed. So he is expecting some moves, some movements in tourism business. We are talking about mass tourism. We are talking about tour buses making tours.
Exactly.
From Istanbul to Cappadocia and whatever, so on. So he says he believes, he has faith that in July, he will receive some groups from such places. But the buses that have capacity of 46, they will have only 20 to 25 people on board. All the passengers and the guide and the driver will have masks. And they will
Probably
have
each second row will be empty. Yeah.
Probably something like that.
Yeah.
And disinfection material will be available on board.
Mm-hmm.
And along the tour, along the journey, the mask will be used. So you cannot say, "Hello, I'm Timur." This is forbidden. They will see you with the mask. And hotels will have
Maybe
certificate.
the names of the guys will be written on the mask, like Timur, you know?
A photo of Timur.
A photo, yeah, to recognize you. No, you have your photo on your card ID anyway.
So, you know, that's what they're expecting. They are expecting to recover the mass tourism.
Yeah.
And finally, he says, okay, these are the expectations. But what I believe that to start to work really, we should wait for next April. Next April, before there will be something, but nothing serious to work as a guide.
I see.
So this is from one side, Olimp.
Okay.
On the other side, you have the virus. It's going down, coming back. I don't know.
We'll see.
And
it's important to stay safe and to get out safe from all this crisis. Yeah.
Yes. There's a long time to
defeat,
recapacitate, and maybe to read, maybe get some expertise in some areas.
Exactly.
What you are doing is quite valuable, quite professional, and I think it has to reach some people, because a lot of people need answers that maybe they are easy for you, but they still don't. They are not there yet.
Exactly. Okay, Timur. So the very last question into this travel chat by OLiTravel. Please name your top 3 favorite cities in the world, except your home city, because usually the home city remains our heart city. Yeah.
I see.
Top 3 cities, best cities in the world.
I like very much. I think about the city and all the things that you can do. It's offering you in the world. I like very much, as you, I believe, Rio de Janeiro.
It's my number 1.
It's also my number 1.
Yeah.
And about Rio de Janeiro, I think it is where it is and the people.
Yeah.
And my second best should be Berlin. I love Berlin very much.
Wow.
And I think Berlin is a vibrant city.
Mm-hmm.
It is like Istanbul in certain sense. It is cosmopolitan, so mixed, but at the same time organized and very, very rich in culture.
Number 3, yeah.
Yes, which is going to be very, very difficult. I think I should say Istanbul.
Of course.
I should say Istanbul.
I'm wearing, in your honor as well, the T-shirt of Istanbul, because I love that huge metropolis as well, situated between Asia and Europe. And I'm sure that all Turkish, doesn't matter if they are working in tourism or any other activity, all of the Turkish people, you love your biggest, greatest metropolis, which is Istanbul. Yeah, I was expecting that, honestly. Thank you, Timur. Thank you so much. Çok teşekkürler. It was a really very rich travel chat, full of information, full of official dates also, and informations, numbers from you about this situation. Thank you so much for that, and let's hope that we will still have some tourism this summer. Then from next year, maybe we'll get back to normal, like in the old good times, which were not so far, only last year, yeah. But this summer, I hope to maybe meet you in Antalya with our groups, or just like colleagues, for a cup of chai, of tea, and some tasty, delicious Turkish food like a gözleme or anything else that I miss so much.
Let me guide you. Let me guide you then.
Please.
It's so nice to see you.
Thank you, Timur. Çok teşekkürler. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Take care, be safe, and keep in touch. Yeah?
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Görüşürüz.
İnşallah.